welcome back, or welcome if you're new. For today, I thought we would go through my 2025 reading journal, which I started in January, as one usually does, and I haven't looked at it since the beginning of March, which is terrible, absolutely terrible. I've clearly continued reading since my last entry, but I don't think I've been tackling my TBR as I should have been. I kind of got wrapped up in just mood reads, which isn't a bad thing as long as I'm still reading, right? But I just thought we would go through my reading journal, and something cool about it is that it looks like a laptop when you open it. Okay, I just thought that was really cool. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna dive right into my reading journal for 2025. Let's get into it. So I do have an index where things are kind of filled out. I started off with a recap of all of the book series and standalone reads and fanfics that I've read. Obviously, these aren't all of them. These are just the ones that jumped out at me in my memory and that I thought were relevant to the reader I am today. I'm not going to include my Mary-Kate and Ashley books because they're not my taste right now, or ever will be again. So let's see what we have here. I've read the entire series of all of the ones listed. Let's see, we have The Vampire Academy, The Hunger Games, A Song of Ice and Fire. Well, not completed, but the ones that are out. The sequels, not so much. I did read Fire and Blood, but that's it from the spin-offs. We have HP, Bridgerton, The Witcher series, one of my faves, Lord of the Rings, The Selection, Twilight, Divergent, and the Empyrean series. So we have like a good mix right there. Let's see, standalone books I've read of all time. The Hobbit, Like Water for Chocolate, amazing book. I read that my freshman year of high school. I have Water for Elephants. I love the book and the movie. Queen Charlotte, so that is a Bridgerton spin-off book. I mean, it's really good. And I also liked the spin-off show. In The Time of the Butterflies, my sister recommended me that one. Not my favorite. The Night Circus, and I forgot to put her name for some reason. I really like it. Every time I think about it, I fluctuate in my rating of it. Right now, I think I'm sitting at a 4. The Familiar, really good. I would leave that at a 4 as well. A Song to Drown Rivers is a 5-star for me personally. The Scandalous Confessions of Lydia Bennet Witch, another recommended by my sister. It's like a retelling of Pride and Prejudice from the viewpoint of Lydia, which is the youngest Bennet sister. It was okay. When the Moon Hatched, did not really like this book. I liked the world building, but yeah, the overall story was lacking. I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. That is an autobiography. I feel kind of strange rating it, but I finished it. Memoirs of a Geisha, a good book. I read this one maybe in 2015-ish, I'm going to say. It was good. I love the movie. A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. I did like this book. I started the sequel. Didn't like it as much. It was pretty much just from his point of view. I didn't want to read it twice, but I think it was a tandem read, and I didn't know that. So, yeah. Rhapsodic. It was good. Again, I started the second book, but couldn't really get back into it. And then Fire and Blood, I mentioned it earlier. All right, some fanfics I read. All-time favorite, Manacled, Sen Lin Yu. It was my first fanfic that I ever read. Very ambitious of me and very traumatic. Very good. Breath Mints and Battle Scars by Onyx and Elm. Good. I'll have a more detailed explanation of my rating of all of these. It was good though. I liked it. Divination for Skeptics. I love this one. It was very lighthearted, and after reading these and then Secrets and Masks, I needed something to lift my spirits, and that did it. And then Secrets and Masks by Emerald Slytherin. Another great one, another heavy one though. These are all These are very heavy. This one medium, and this one is very lighthearted. And for some reason, I thought I would include my favorite TV shows, Disney movies, Pixar movies, and just favorite movies of all time. I'm not going to go through all of these, but if you want to see, here's a little brief look over. Okay. I also did my favorite songs, another brief look over. I just chose one song per my favorite artist. I have a lot of favorite artists. And these are the ones that I could think of as I was making this book. Some concerts I've been to. Warped Tour. Okay. And here we have my TBR bookshelf of 2025. The first shelf are just books I personally wanted to read. Personal TBR. These are classics I wanted to tackle. I don't expect myself to go through all of these, but I'm just giving myself options. And then the last shelf are books that I pulled from a random number generator out of my ebook library. And yeah, so there's 12 of those. I wanted one for each month. Then we have some classifications. So I kind of went through these to update it, but the orange star means I finished it. The yellow star means I DNF'd after about 50% of the way through the book. And the red star is I DNF'd under 50%. And so let's go through them. Gods of Jade and Shadow, DNF'd at about 50% or more. I think I was more like 60 to 70% of the way through. It's not a bad book. It just wasn't for me, honestly. To Poison a King, I finished it. Didn't like it. The Song of Achilles, I finished it. I liked it. I think it's a 4-star for me. Let's see. Jezebel, I really liked it. That's a 4-star for me. Onyx Storm, I finished it. It was just okay. It was better than Iron Flame, but not as good as the first book, Fourth Wing. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I did start it, but I started Throne of Glass at the same time, and obviously I went through a spiral, and now I'm on the 3rd book of the series. So I'll circle back to this one, and Six of Crows, I'll go back to those. And then on my classics shelf, I am currently reading Anna Karenina. I'm about 60 to 70% of the way through. Hopefully I'll be done with it by the end of July. It's just I'm taking it in sections. War of the Worlds and Dracula, I'm planning on reading around October, so that'll be nice. Pride and Prejudice, I finished it. It was okay. Not my favorite. I actually prefer the movie with Keira Knightley way more. Do not burn me at the stake for that. Okay, let's see. One Little Nightmare, that was a strange read. Good, though. I liked it. Just strange. Veiled in Stars and Silver, what was that? I DNF'd it after like 3 chapters. What? And then I'll get into that maybe later during like a DNF video. Dream, DNF'd, under 50%, DNF'd, Wonderland, and A Wildflower in the Wind. That's all. So I'll say I tackled about, so 50% here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so that's 50% there. Oh, I only did 1 book there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 12. So I need to, I mean, I'm right on schedule. We're only in the 5th month, so I'm on schedule. But I do need to try to eliminate a few more. The majority of these I got from a Stuff Your Kindle event. So these were just impulse buys or downloads. I wasn't expecting them all to hit. I was very surprised with One Little Nightmare, but as you can see, the majority of them are not good. So I'm a little scared for the rest of these, but we shall see. Then we have my anticipated releases of 2025. Clearly, I've already read Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros and Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is a Hunger Games prequel. Amazing, fantastic, 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. Alchemized is Manacled. It's being traditionally published, so the fan fiction, it's a Harry Potter fan fiction, has been pulled from most sites, I believe. And this book will be released in, I think, August. And pre-orders are available now. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. Pick it up later when it comes out. The Unmapping by Denise S. Robbins. I completely forgot about this until I opened up my journal again. So this is a good reason to go back into your journal and see what you were looking forward to. Because now I'm going to look it up and see when it's supposed to be released, if it already released, and what people are thinking about it so far. Now we have books I read outside of my TBR. So the first 3 are the only ones I had entered until I came back and did these today. But let's see. I read The Magicians by Lev Grossman. I watched the TV show. I loved the TV show. The books, not so much. I think I give it like a 2.5 stars, maybe 3 stars. Blind by Natalie Haynes is a and Medusa retelling. Very good. 4 stars, almost 5 stars, but there was something I didn't like about it. Maybe I'll talk about it in a book review video. Bloodlines was just okay. Onyx Storm, just okay. Again, 5 stars. Midnight Sun is Twilight from the perspective of Edward Cullen. Very good. I liked it better than Twilight from Bella's perspective, honestly. The Curse of the Flores Woman, another great book. A book that I will do a book review video on. And then Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, which obviously I loved. Then we have our fanfic TBR. I got through Things We're All Too Young to Know and Cruel and Beautiful World. Very, very good. And I'll go into it later. Then we have 2 more, The Debt of Time and Crimson Rivers, which I started but dropped as soon as I started a song or A Throne of Glass. I also started a Thing of Vikings that I dropped too. This one is a How to Train Your Dragon fanfic, which I started. It's really good, so I just need to find the time to actually read it. Salvage, I can't remember what it's about. Oh, actually, I think it's a Avatar The Last Airbender fanfic, which will be amazing. Looking forward to eventually getting to it and expanding my fanfic genre or topic, because most of it is just Harry Potter, Hermione, and Draco. But, you know, I've read so many, I'm ready to branch out before I dive back in. I think The Debt of Time isn't Hermione, but it's Marauders. And Crimson Rivers is Hunger Games mashup with Harry Potter characters. But it's pretty much the Hunger Games, like there's no magic so far. So yeah. And then here we have The Graveyard. This is where my DNF books are listed, or my DNF books, so did not finish. So we have Gods of Jade and Shadow, Certain Dark Things, which I have to talk about eventually. But yeah, I maybe 80% of the way, then I DNF. It's just I wasn't looking forward to finishing it, and so I kept dragging it on, and it's just, why drag it on if I'm not enjoying it? So I finally let myself DNF it at 80%. I already spoke about these. Greenlight. So Greenlight is a fanfic. It's Hermione, but I just didn't like the way that Hermione was being portrayed. It just didn't feel very Hermione to me. And we have A Wildflower in the Wind. It just felt very generic, very like every other book that I was reading. It had all of the same elements. It wasn't interesting. If I've read all these other books, why do I need to read this one, you know? So, not my favorite. And then here we have my book review rubric. This is how I score my personal reviews here in this book. It will change varying on which app I'm on, but I tend to rate books based on my entertainment value. Was I entertained? Was I moved? Was it emotion provoking? Things like that. A book can be so well written, but if it didn't evoke emotion, it's not going to get a 5 from me. So here we have 5 is fantastic, made me cry. If a book can make me cry, it's probably getting a 5 right away. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And nothing else matters. If it can make me cry, it'll probably be a 5. We'll read again. Well written. Can't stop thinking about it. Nothing I would change. It doesn't have to hit all of these marks. So like Sunrise on the Reaping is a 5, but I don't think I would read it again. Why would I put myself through the trauma, honestly? We have 4. So for 4, I need to really enjoy the book. It has to be well written. Could change a few things. Might read again.
and just not enough for an extra star. Example for a 4-star book, I would say Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. So I really enjoyed it. It was well written. I would change a few things, so I might get into that in another video, but I did not like Athena's point of view. If we could take that out of the book, I think it would be a 5-star, but just because of Athena's point of view, it's gonna knock it down. I would read it again, I think. Yeah, so that is a 4-star. A 3-star is an okay read, would change many things, a bit boring at times. So for a 3-star, I would say maybe Bloodlines by Michelle Mead. Even Onyx Storm could be here. It was okay. It wasn't groundbreaking. I would change a lot of things. It was a bit boring, so I would say Onyx Storm would fit here. I kind of put it at 3.5 just because there were times when I did like it. It was just in the middle. 2, it says Z, but I ran out of 2 stickers. But a 2 would be not very good, wouldn't read again, unlikable characters, confusing plot, and unlikable tropes. So I have a 2. It's a 2.5, but To Poison a King, I would put that right in the middle. It wasn't very good. It started off great, right? It was okay in the beginning. It was actually well written in the beginning, and then it just like lost the plot. The characters, yeah, weren't very likable. The plot was just unraveled. I'll get into it in a different video, but yeah, so that would be a 2, more like a 2.5. And then a 1 is a DNF, poorly written, nonsense, no real review needed. So a DNF, like ACOTAR. I did not like ACOTAR at all. Oh my god, I did not like it at all. Enough said. That would be a 1, a DNF. It's also, like, of Gods of Jade and Shadow, I wouldn't classify it as that as a 1. I would probably put it as a 3 because it was well written. It made sense. I could do a review if I wanted. It's just, it wasn't for me, so it wouldn't be a 1. You see, so like there are things that are left to my discretion. Final ratings are up to my discretion. If a book makes me cry, it's almost always an instant 5-star. On the other side, I start my review. So here I have To Poison a King by S.G. Prince. I gave it a 2.5, and I listed out the negatives and the positives. So the negative, would not recommend, would change many things, age difference. Here I said good premise, likable main character. I just didn't like the rest of the characters, to be honest. But yeah, then when I read it, that I see I'm having is I just didn't keep up with it, right? So I finished Things We're All Too Young to Know, which I did like. A Song of Achilles, so short, and it's just the case of you have more to say about a book you didn't like than a book you did like, right? Like, what are you gonna say? Oh, I just really like this book. What else, babe? Like, do I give a summary besides the brief summary? Should I make it longer? I don't know. Maybe I should list out plot points I really liked. Maybe I'll do that going forward. But like here, oh sorry, it's a bit blurry. Like Jezebel was a bit longer because I liked this book a lot, this story. It's just that it evoked so much anger and feminine rage and that was the point of it. Okay. Then Little Nightmares by Donna Darling, I give that a 3.5. I mean, I think that's fair. So I just need to fill in the rest. You see I have like the Magicians here. Disappointing. Stone Blind. I have this review written out on my story graph.
And that's why
I just need to put it here. So that's the thing. There are all these apps that I'm going between, and then I forget to actually physically write them down. Because imagine these apps just cease to exist, and then I won't have anything physical to remind me of the books. And I don't know, I like it each year and jog my memory. And it's just like a nice little reminder. So I do like book journaling. I just need to keep up with it, which I'm going to actively do from now on. I still need to figure out what to do with this page. So yeah, that was my reading journal. And if you have one that you haven't checked up on in a while, use this as your sign, and let's get back into journaling our reads and writing book reviews. Even if you're the only one that's going to see it, just so that
when you talk about the book, you can look back and see your thoughts and jog your own memory, because you'll jog your own memory better than anyone else can.